Okay, we did it. Yay!
Yay.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So I'm excited, Royal. I'm so glad you were able to jump on here with me tonight and just kind of chop it up. First of all, I just want to say congratulations on Marriage Mansion. I think the movie
Thank you.
is really good. And I think that it's going to help a lot of people just kind of like remind them about fighting for the relationship if it's worth it, right? But before we get into that, I want to say it's so cool because we kind of quasi kind of like grew up together. Quasi, this is my spiritual brother who I've watched evolve and grow and develop and change and pivot and really just become this phenomenal like powerhouse in media right now, which I think is pretty dope with what you've created with your, biological father, my spiritual father, Apostle Wayne T. Jackson. And so kind of watching the evolution of this whole thing has been pretty amazing. Will you just kind of talk about, I guess, first of all, did you ever see yourself in media?
I've always seen myself in media. I mean, from the beginning, I've always been an innovator, and media has been a space that I felt like our people were always underserved, and have always felt like that was a place that I could serve in a place that was underserved. So, media has always been in my vision. I'm a visionary. For those who don't know me and you kind of meet me for the first time, I'm a creative entrepreneur. So I package vision and I profit from it. And I help others profit from their vision. And so media is one outlet in which I put those skills to work.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely have done that. So you kind of always saw yourself in media. Did you feel like it was going to be with your family though?
That part I didn't see because that part I didn't see. I'm from Detroit. I love Detroit. I grew up here. We've always had like such a hard work ethic coming from a entrepreneurial family, a spiritual family. We've always had a hard work ethic and a lot of heart. But um, I would be lying if I said I wasn't trying to get away from the family and get out of Detroit when I first started. That journey took me to Los Angeles, where I studied design and I studied marketing, and that took me to New York, where I just created a lot of commercials for like Fortune 500 companies. And it was kind of a shakeup and a shift going on in my life at that time, where um, I was at a fork in the road because I always knew I was an entrepreneur at heart. Even though I was working
Yeah,
in corporate America, I knew that wasn't my long term trajectory. And at that
yeah.
time, I called my dad. Him and I had a heart to heart about some things that was going on in life at the time, and he was just like, "Why don't you come home and help me out?" And I was like, "I'm really not trying to do that." At that time, I really wasn't trying to do that. But see, that's what you got to realize, that the very thing you don't want to do is the very thing
Mm,
that's going to bless you. The thing that's
mm.
hard to decide, the thing that you feel like, oh, this is not the thing that's uh it's good to follow your passions, but at the same time, you never know. Your passions are packaged sometimes in problems. They're
Yeah,
packaged in ways that you don't think that obstacle is going to become an opportunity. And so
yeah,
at the time, I came back home to Detroit. Impact Network at that time was not. It wasn't around. It wasn't inception. It wasn't a concept at the time. I really just came home out of a sense of family and obedience and kind of reset myself at that time. And so little did I know that the stock market, the housing market, all that was crashing back in '08 when I came back home to Detroit.
mm.
And
Wow.
so my timing was very much a divine shift in timing when I came back to the D. And during that time, Impact Network was birthed, and I happened to be right there to help birth it out through family. And
Mm.
uh, through that, um, I found my skills began to be put to work, because at the beginning, and I'm speaking to a lot of the entrepreneurs here who might be even in startups, and you don't have all the resources at first, and you figuring out, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to
Yeah,
take this vision and I'm going to bring it to life? I don't know
yeah,
all these people. It's a new space.
right.
I don't have all the money. that I think I should have to get this off the ground, but you still are moving forward. That's where
Yeah.
we were with Impact. And so, because I had a background with creating vision and packaging vision, I was able to help support my father and mother's vision and take the skills I had in marketing, media, design, branding, package those together. And we went from cable company to cable company and really sold that vision where we began to expand from home to home to home, where we had reached over 90 million homes at the time, and now we're growing into the digital space and new productions. I see my son back here. See, I just bought him some gaming tokens on his iPad so he wouldn't come down here. Legend, I'm gonna have to take those Robux back, man. And
So
I'm just playing with
cute.
you. You want to say hi real
Actually,
quick? Just wave.
hi.
Daddy has to work. This is
Hi.
Legend. Say hi,
Hi,
Legend.
Legend.
So
How are
Legend, I have
you?
my headphones on. They can't
I'm
hear
about
you.
to
You
I'm
can't hear
about to
them.
bring your grandfather on.
So Poppy's gonna come on, but I love you. Can you go up with Royal, please? Okay, I will. I will take care of it. But Daddy's working right now. Go get him. Go get him. Just go get him, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
I
That's my first role as a husband and father. And so what you see
period.
here is daddy mogul, kind of boss
Listen,
dad,
listen,
going back and
listen.
forth. You
I
got
love
to
it.
shift.
I
But
love
to that
it.
point,
Okay, I'm
Jewel,
actually gonna
we've had an evolution from where we
I
started to
love it.
where we
I
are
love it.
now.
I'm actually going to bring on my spiritual father, your biological father, right now, Apostle Wayne T. Jackson,
Hey,
owner
Dad.
and founder of Impact Network. So excited you're on here, sir. And I know you took a break from enjoying the beautiful weather. But I think it is pretty, every time I think about what God has done with Impact, I think it is just a testament of his miracle working power when you trust him, because it started as a small station and now it's a whole global media conglomerate that's taking territory and making moves and really changing lives. So, I have to ask you this. Did you ever, and I know the story, and we'll probably get into that if we have time, but I know the story of how it came about. But did you ever see yourself as owning a whole network and doing all this now? Oh, wait, I can't
Dad, I
hear you,
think you're on
sir.
mute.
Let's see. Okay, let's try now. Okay, yeah, no, we can't hear him. Your mic is not muted. Um, I wonder if did somebody try to call you since you've been on here? Because sometimes it'll impact the
Okay,
volume.
there we go.
Mm-mm. You may want to go off and try to come back on. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, come back on. So Royal,
Gatorade ain't pay you for that. They ain't pay you for the
right,
screen.
split product placement, like for real. Um, but so you just kind of started using your gifts. You came home. How long did it take you to say yes? I'm curious.
To come home. Well, I
Yes.
knew I was done with corporate at the time, so it didn't take me long to say yes. One thing that I have found about myself is that while I may have plans and I'm a very strategic person, I've learned that I've learned that I'm an adaptable person, and I've learned how to pivot in the moment. Even with the network, as we speak now, we're talking through all sorts of pivots. The market is always changing, and being able to utilize the creative gift that's within you to solve problems in your life, solve problems in business. Creativity is not just about uh, making something that is beautiful, but it's about really solving problems and being able to move and shift and having the ideas to do so. So, to your point, I did not take a long time to debate on it, but I've had two stints back and forth from Detroit. So, of course, I grew up here, moved to LA the first time, came back, then I moved to New York. Forgive me. then came back to Detroit. Then I moved back to LA again, and then came back to Detroit again. The second time was, I think, was harder than the first time, but because I was already establishing myself in the entertainment space in Los Angeles, and to come back to Detroit, um, the network at that point wasn't at a point where it was doing a lot of creative things. It wasn't at a point where it was making original content. We were more focused on what's called a distribution model, and that's where people pay you for your distribution to be on. And in time, that began to evolve where we start to look at how we can program the audience and create for the audience, and that's where we are today.
Yeah, that's really strong. Okay, I think Apostle, can you hear us? Okay. All right. So I think he's still working it out. Okay, so that's yeah, so that's I think that's really powerful because now you guys you started making a lot of pivots where it started off as Christian television and
Mm-hmm.
now you've definitely gone very much wholesome mainstream as well. Did you always kind of see it going from Christian television to mainstream? Was that always kind of your goal? And I'm wondering, was that Apostle's goal too? I'm just curious to that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple lessons to be learned here. When you first start a business, you can't service everybody. You are oftentimes focusing with a niche. You're focusing on a core audience. You're serving that audience. You're learning from that audience. You're improving for that audience and building for that audience. And that's where we started within the faith-based sector. Now, we always saw this vision to be larger than just one vertical of faith-based because we didn't name it. And to my dad and mom's credit, they divinely got downloaded that they weren't going to name it a religious network name. The name of the network is Impact because that's what we want to do is we want to impact the lives of the viewers in a positive and authentic way. And so naturally, that evolution was taking place already built in the DNA of the company. It was just a matter of at what point in do you scale, at what point do you begin to morph based on the audience being ready. And so now we have a lot of digital platforms out here. We know we have a lot of streaming platforms. The makeup of TV has changed. The makeup of media has changed. Here we are sitting on a live. This is a whole nother platform. And so what we've been able to do now as the market has shifted, as new platforms have shifted, and the accessibility through technology has grown, we've able to service that market now and service the people through creating more content for them. And so the space had opened up for us to move through and move in it.
Yeah, that's really good. So, okay, now we're doing mainstream movies and you guys
Mhm.
wrote and I think produced Marriage Mansion. Where did that ideal kind of come from?
Okay, so Marriage Mansion was a initial brainchild of mine that I brought to Mark, who is not on the call yet. Mark Buddington, who's the director, and at first it was called Vacation, Baecation, a vacation, and the whole idea was to create this reality show setting that was like a reality show, but it was a movie at the same time. And so that's
Hmm.
why when you watch the movie, you get reality show elements where people are talking directly to the camera and they're saying what they think and saying what they feel. But at the
I thought it
same
was
time, there it's still a film. And so we shot a lot of that first person moving camera type of approach to this. So it was just a new concept. When you saw, do y'all remember the movie Blair Witch Project back in the day? It was a horror movie, but it
yeah.
changed the way films were made because they shot it in a different way that was normally shot. What up, Mark? That's Money
Hey,
Mark who just came on.
hey.
So I went to Atlanta. We're sitting at the top of I don't know what hotel I was in at the time, and then Mark and I were concepting which project we were going to start with because we wanted to do some work together, and then Marriage Mansion was the project. So it went from vacation to Marriage Mansion. And for those in the film community here, when you're making a film, you try to be economical about that film too, but give it a high look. The key is you want to make sure you have like a controlled environment. You don't want to be shooting in a bunch of locations everywhere because you're gonna burn your budget. So what we were thinking about was how do we house this film in one place to build, this mansion setting where the cast could interact and you could have a lot of different dimensions to it. And so that's pretty much how Marriage Mansion came to be. And well, I'll share that other piece at the end. When we get to the end, I'm gonna share more about what's to come when it comes to Marriage Mansion.
I love it. I love it. What up, Joe? Mark?
What up? What up? What up?
Are you from Detroit too, or no?
No, I'm actually from New York.
All right.
Denzel's from Detroit, but Denzel, you got to cut a light on, man.
It's dark.
I
I'm in a car. Let me see if I can come.
Bruh,
There we go.
There you go.
Let's do it.
we can see you a little bit. So did you
there you
forget?
go.
Did you forget you was gonna be on this live and needed to have a selfie?
Oh no.
So Royal, did you know we was in Memphis? I drove out to Memphis when we had that. Was on top of the hotel.
Oh yeah, Memphis. So yeah, I was in Tennessee actually on another film that
Right.
Impact has produced. So I think my dad is on now. Dad, can we hear you?
Sir, can
Hey,
you hear
Dad.
us?
Destin.
Can you hear us, Apostle?
I'm not sure if he can hear us, but we were shooting another movie in Tennessee called The Life of Me, which you guys will see that film coming out. But we are moving into a lot of original programs, a lot of original content, a lot of original films, TV shows. But we were in Tennessee at that time, and I was on set shooting that film. And Mark came down to the set. I thought we were in Atlanta for some reason. I thought I was in Atlanta for some reason.
Nah, remember?
Oh yeah, he came down
was
to the
in
hotel in
Memphis.
Tennessee.
That was a big day for you. You was doing a lot.
Yeah.
Nashville, because I think that's the movie that Ben and I were in.
That's right.
Yeah, it was Nashville,
That's
Mark.
right.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to come on for that movie next when that one gets released. So we have about four films right now that are just rolling out back to back over the course of this year. And so there's some things that are happening with the network. There's some things that are happening with the production companies connected to the network. And we have some sitcoms coming out. I know I'm kind of teasing some of the things that are happening, but I'm just letting everybody know that Marriage Mansion is one of many of what we're growing to. And I don't want to take the attention into the other films at this point, but to your point, Jewel, yeah, we are building a lot. We are making a lot of different projects and really building for this audience.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Apostle, can you hear?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There we go.
There you go.
Yay, we did it. All right, you gotta love technology. So, sir, I'm excited to have you on here tonight. And I think what you've built in media is definitely historic and revolutionary. And how to see it evolve from a television network to now a huge conglomerate, a force to be working with in the digital space, in the media space. And I'm excited. We got Mark on here. We got Denzel on here. I guess I'll go to you first if you want to talk just a little bit about this film, Marriage Mansion, which I think is huge. And then I'll go to Mark and Denzel. But I think it's just a huge conversation piece. Ben and I watched it. And, it was definitely some relatable stuff like, it was juicy. But I think what I loved about it is that the takeaway was, listen, when you get married, especially if you're with the right one, fight for it. You're going to have times, you have days, y'all going to go through seasons, but just take a moment and breathe and fight for it. And don't be so quick to just walk away from it. Because I think we're in a culture now where everybody's canceling everybody, but Jesus didn't even cancel Judas. So I love the film for that. What's kind of on your heart about Marriage Mansion? How are you feeling about it?
Okay, so I think his camera and audio went back out. So I'll just hop in for a minute on just touching on the point that you mentioned. It is really meant to be a film that's uh, and not to get preachy about it, but it's a film that's meant to minister in its own way, in a non-traditional way, in a way that's going to really reach people to so they can find the messages in the movie that fit their life. Um,
Yeah.
and so it is not just to have just another piece of media that's going out. We're really trying to build, or we're really building meaningful media with messages where people can take things away from it, but it can still be relatable to them and what they're looking for and what they're going through. And so Marriage Mansion, that was really the intention for the film, is for people to take something from it, whatever situation you're in. And we know there's a lot of different relationship problems. We can't tackle them all in one movie, but we do plan, and this is what I was going to tell you guys later, but I'll just blow it up here now, is that we do plan on doing a franchise for Marriage Mansion where we have different couples and we reboot the film with a different mansion each time in different situations. And we're going to just keep taking the storylines up. This was the first one, but we're going to keep taking the storylines up and really connecting with the people in a way that is going to, again, bring life to their life and their situation, or whatever they might be going through.
Yeah, that's strong. Mark, chime in. Marriage Mansion, you did your thing. So talk
No,
about your role with everything and how you feel like it turned out.
no, I love the way the film turned out. Royal did a great job with producing. It was a lot of things that I also learned on set, doing this film. Exactly. It was like, because we was taking like my style of shooting of reality and also, combining it with a style of shooting the movie. And this process, it was like so, so unique to have a person like Royal, like on top of the things that a lot of people don't pay attention to, like, the set decorating, the clothing, actual characteristics with the characters. A lot of that stuff, like, having him there on set was helping me bring a lot of things to life. And actually seeing a lot of things happen with the movie was like super dope with the final product.
Have you worked on other movies or was this your
Yes.
first?
No, I've worked on movies since 2005.
Oh, okay. Any that we might know?
A couple, a couple, a couple.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I think Mark, you kind of, Mark he's a humble guy, but I think that not just in film, he's also, what you've seen on Love and Hip Hop, and a lot of other shows like that you see on VH1. Mark was running a lot of those shows, and so he was bringing some of those characteristics also to Marriage Mansion, because, like, for instance, there's a scene where one of the couples, the girl gets so frustrated in her confessional about her man, she gets up and she walks out and storms off the set. But the way he captured it, it was very much like the camera was moving, you following her out the room, you wondered if she gonna come back, and building that tension with. But he's done that. He shot that stuff in real time with the VH1s and things. So Mark, you know, talk your stuff. I know we on Zoom, talk your stuff, man.
Nah, yeah. So, just being a part of it was just super dope. Like, like Roy, you said, the whole process of the
Yes,
part
sir.
Okay.
he's back. So
First of all, let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Thank you, Jewel. Welcome, Royal, Mark, Denzel. Great movie. Certainly, as we make this transition and getting good, wholesome family movies, but yet, a movie that can, entertain and also bring real life situations. And Royal brought Mark, and Mark Royal made it happen. And so those who have not seen Marriage Mansion, I have it on all the time. I know almost every time you look around, Marriage Mansion is on, because hey, it's a good movie. Some people may not understand at first because they think it's a regular movie, but it is, a reality movie, and that's why they got to get that concept. But Mark, you did a good job. Denzel did a wonderful job in acting, and Royal, just executive producer. I mean, you see talent there, and it's us as a people. We're doing this as a people and trying to bring good entertainment and good, good product to the community.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. It was definitely really good. And I love the cast as well, which brings me to Denzel. Denzel, you did your thing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So talk a little bit about your character. Do you feel like you act like him for real?
Probably the younger me. But what's crazy about it is I wasn't the original Jonathan. I had got the script the same day I started shooting. The first Jonathan dropped out for whatever reason, and Willow, I'm not sure if you know who Willow is. He called me and was like, "You in Atlanta?" I was at work, and this one I was doing like gutter protection. I ain't know nothing about gutters, but I had just got down there and I was doing what I had to do to make ends meet. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." He like, "Man, can you be here by 3 o'clock?" I'm like, "Yeah. Let me just shoot home and get some clothes, and I'll be there." And I got there, and sure enough, they gave me the script, and I just went on with it, learned it as the days went on, and the rest is history.
So tell me, what did you like about your character, and maybe did you not like about your character?
So I like the fact that I got to play a dad. I think that was my first time playing a dad on TV. And as far as like the things I didn't like, I can't say there's nothing that I didn't like because each of the situations just gave Jonathan a chance to grow as a man, as a husband, and as a father. So it's nothing that I didn't like. They were all like learning or teaching moments for my character. So
Yeah. Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure. Now, was that your first film?
no, oh no. That was my
You
first
like, I
reality
did it.
TV. That was my first reality TV,
Okay.
and which was it was a challenge because they was like, go ahead, it was like more improv, like go ahead, just they gave me a scenario. It was one of the confessionals. They gave me a scenario. It's like, you got to do this, you got to be arrogant, because I'm the total opposite. Excuse me. I'm the total opposite. I'm like very humble, very like laid back, quiet almost. And he was like, "No, you got to go with it. You got to. Jonathan is this, that, and the third. So you got to be that. You got to do that." And we finally got it, but it took like 3-4 takes. But we finally got it. We finally got it.
So
Yeah, and I
what
got to
would you
give it to Denzel for him coming in and, like you said, just getting right to set and getting right to work. I mad props to you on that, Denzel. The guy who dropped out, his mom had died, and she lived in Africa, in Nigeria, I believe, and he flew to Nigeria but wasn't back in time for the shoot. So for Denzel to come in and learn the lines and be present like that should show everybody what kind of skill and talent Denzel has, and how he just hopped right in and was able to adapt. When we were talking about at the beginning of this call about adapting, like you really came in, Denzel. You adapted. His chemistry was good with the rest of the cast. It wasn't like Denzel came in as a X factor, and we was like, oh, we don't know what we're gonna get, and is he gonna throw the chemistry off? Because a lot of what you're dealing with is chemistry. Like, and not to get too deep, but we're made up of chemistry. Like, and that's why you see some people butt heads and they don't get along, because that energy and that friction and things. And so Denzel came in. That was just a true testament, not only to his talent, but also his professionalism.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you did your thing. I actually enjoyed your character and interaction with your wife. And I think there were a lot of lessons. I guess one of the last things I want to ask you, Denzel, okay, so we want everybody to go watch Marriage Mansion, but in your own words, like why? Why should they watch it? What do you think are going to be some of the good lessons or takeaways?
Like you said earlier, it basically, we live in a generation or a time where everybody just so quick to walk away from something, and a lot of times it be pride and egos involved in that, and then later on down the line they regret that decision. So I say people go watch it because they'll learn that some things are worth fighting for. A lot of things are worth fighting for, and so yeah, I'm not a man of many words. I be straight to the point with it, but that's my main take on it. It teach you how to fight for what's important, fight for what you care about, fight for what you love, and yeah, not don't be so easily to walk away and leave it alone,
Yes.
then because a lot of times we regret those decisions.
That's good. Mark, what about you? What do you think are some main takeaways? I mean, do you feel like right now, of course, I guess everybody probably agree that people aren't really fighting for their marriage like they used to, and just kind of, if it's not working, it's just I'm out. And then of course the counseling standpoint, I think I really enjoyed the fact, I was talking to Reese about this. You had, a couple can go to get counseling, but then there's couples therapy. And I think that was the part that I really enjoyed, was seeing all the couples see each other's issues. I think can kind of help you, like, oh, you know what? Everybody working on something. Ain't no perfect nothing. Like everybody is working on something. So Mark, what would you say kind of a person's going to get? What are you hoping people get when they watch Marriage Mansion on Tubi? So y'all go do that tonight.
Well, the main thing I do hope that they get is some good smiles. I need them to smile and laugh also with the film. As you notice in the beginning of the film, there was a lot of that was based around a story, how we backstory them to get them to Marriage Mansion. And that's when you see most of their problems. And the thing I loved about the whole story was that they was able to get there and see other people's problems, and to see like, well, maybe my problem is not as bad as theirs. Maybe I can work on mine. Some people have different issues more than others. And to see other people go through it and stick together shows you that, well, maybe I can work on my relationships. Like, especially the challenges is what I really love. Like how they were able to connect those challenges to food. Like, having them say, well, we bond together because of this cake, or we bond together because of this. I love the fact how people was able to be creative at that point. And I think some of these people should look at this and take away and learn some of these challenges as far as within themselves, to use it to say, well, how can we stick together? Like, well, we stick together like glue, or we stick together like this, and try to, like you said, at the end, it was like, to see them all come back together and renew their vows, it was good. Sometimes movies have bad endings, and I'm glad this one had a good one.
Yeah, nah, for real, for real. Royal?
Yeah, I would say just even if your particular situation is not in the movie and is not mirrored directly to you in the movie, look at what you are going through in your relationship and find ways to improve whatever it is that you might actually be working on. I think we would also love to hear from people, kind of even what you might be going through, because we can maybe put that in the next Marriage Mansion and the ones to come. So feel free, leave comments on Tubi, leave comments in the chats, and comment on the movie. Let us know what you thought about the characters, or hey, what ideas that you wish we tackle, or situations we tackle, because no relationship is exactly the same. There's a lot that's going on. And there are times, and I will say this, even though Marriage Match is about reconciliation, there are times where it might be right to leave. And that's sometimes if you're in danger, if it's domestic, spousal, or partner type abuse, which we haven't tackled in this movie. However, there's times where you're gonna want to make certain decisions. But if you can fight for your love, if you can hold on to what you have, it's not always about BBD, the bigger, better deal, or the grass being greener on the other side. Because what you go through in the relationship that you're in now, you find out that you go through that again, because a lot of times the things we're dealing with not have to do with our partner all the time, but the growth in ourselves. And if we can grow in ourselves, turn that and see that mirror through the film and see what you can work on, and what your couple can work on, or as a couple, if both people are working and dedicated to growth, then y'all can make it. And so I think that's the one thing I want everybody to take away from Marriage Mansion, is that, see what you can, and take the bad and the good, and be able to forgive yourself and forgive others that you may have wronged, or they wronged you, so you can move on and be better.
And we want
That
to
is good.
encourage people too to go ahead and I see people are still coming on now. They're giving me numbers that are moving up, and people are listening. And I think that, listening to Denzel, I want to commend you because I forgot about that episode about the actors that's supposed to have been played by you, that you played by them, and how you stepped in just like that, man. You could never even notice it, man. You were just a natural born guy, and you really brought character in that part, and you really, was really good in your performance. And I want to tell everybody this, that the only way that we make it together. And you look at independent filmmaking, such what Mark is doing and his company. And, Mark takes a lot of pride in what he does. I mean, he's not the kind of guy that will just put anything out there. Mark, he is a guy who really loves doing what he's doing. And the concept that they brought to me based on the reality movie, I thought that was just something that was just different. And to be able to see how they brought all the pieces together, and it takes a team. And we talk about Impact Network and what we're doing and where we're moving forward in our digital space and on-demand space. I mean, this is going to be able to take and have so many opportunities for not just of the Impact Network, but for independent actors and actresses. Maybe you could not make it in Hollywood. You couldn't make it going to some of these big studios, Netflix or whatever. But, Impact is making a way and making room for other people, other filmmakers, and also actors and actresses to get into the game, because we have Denzel Washington's out there. We have people out there that got the talent but don't have the exposure. And that's what we want to do. And that's why we want you to bring exposure. And we want you to tell other people about Marriage Mansions on Tubi right now. And we've been doing real well. We want to do better. And when you go to Tubi, put MANMA, and it'll pop up. Marriage Mansion is up there at the top. And we're going to make it better by you going and sharing at least with 2 people. If everybody online and share with 2 people, and let them know that we need to watch this every day, and share it with your neighbors, share it with your co-workers, and share it with even, it's good enough for the church members. The church members can sit down, have some fun and laugh and see a little drama. And so that's how we try to make it. We try to make it where it will fit for all of everybody in the family. So share with it. Please help us out and let us know. Put your comments in, like Royal said. Go on the platforms and the TUI platform to talk about Marriage Match and to talk about what you like, and let's share good news together.
That's so good. That's so good. What I think would be a really dope idea is maybe the next one, Royal, Mark, that you all do, whatever city, maybe we do a conference, right after that, maybe like a Marriage Mansion conference, and have them, couples. It'll be a limited edition. They can only come, so many people will be able to be held in the mansion. But I think that'd be great, because I think there are a lot of people that need to be around people that will fight for their marriage. I love the couples there. I think the couples therapy was my favorite, because it's one thing about, okay, Ben and I can go get counseling, right? If I feel like, I'm getting on his nerves or he getting on mine or whatever, we got to work it out. But I think it's a whole nother thing if it's like, oh, babe, let's go and hang out with some other couples who have the intention to stay together, but they are working on some real issues. So I really love the couples therapy part. Was really my favorite part, because I feel like it allows you to pull back layers when you can kind of see, what other people are walking through. And so I just really want to encourage everybody, make sure, get on Tubi, make it a popcorn night, make it a movie night, get your girlfriends together, get some couples together, and everybody watch it and kind of chop it up, because you'll probably be able to find yourself in there. Or even if, like Royal, I think to your point, even if you don't find yourself in there, there's going to be something that hits home where you like, okay, this is good. Let me simmer.
Uh,
Any last things you guys want to share?
Yeah, I've teased and joked about this, but I still think we should do a reunion show like they
Nah,
have where
that's
we know we know where the couples are today and their characters,
hilarious.
and we should do
Hilarious.
a reunion two marriage match. I think that would be
Yo,
a
they
great
always
thing.
do that in a reality show. That'd be dope to have that like a part of it, and that'd be dope.
It
Like,
would be.
And I want to give a shout out to some of the cast that are not on here. Uh, Claudia Jordan, she did her thing. She was hilarious. Melody from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She did an excellent job. That's on OWN. We have Reese. We have Treasure. We have man. Now I'm getting to everybody.
Tyrese,
Tyrese.
we had
Uh,
Tyrese, we had
and
Sam,
then
Samuel Smith,
Sam. Yep. And
we had
Audrey.
Audrey.
Yep. So, and then everybody that really put in Tia, she did all the art direction. Everybody, and I hope I'm not forgetting nobody, but Walter helping with the writing. I just think that everybody who
Shout out to
pitched
Walter.
in to make this film happen, and then a big shout out to my dad because without the money behind the film, we wouldn't be on this live today. So, Mark, everybody, thank you so much. And
Thank
Marriage Mansion,
you.
this is the
Thanks for
first
the
one.
opportunity.
Yeah, we keep
Woo!
on making
Now,
more.
listen, I wanna also piggyback off of Denzel coming, right? So that day, we was like under so much pressure. I'm like, man, how can we figure this out, right? So they came to me. Willow, everybody was bringing me a bunch of people. I'm like, nah, it's not him. It's not him, man. So they're showing me their movies, their reels, and I'm like, nah, man, this guy he can't act. No, he's not. He's not gonna fit this film. Like I need and like to say like that, but I'm like, yo, man, I need a handsome guy. I need him to be like, good looking. He got to be a certain height. I was like measuring him out. I'm like, and the acting got to be on point. So I'm looking at. He shows me Denzel. I'm go, okay, he got everything, man. Man, he looks like a star. I was like, he looks like a star. So man, send him in, man. Send him in, and unfortunately, he came in right away. I had to talk with him, and he just came through, man, and came through for me. There was a couple times he would ask me for our opinion. I'm like, listen, man, you're doing great. So you sure, Mark? I'm like, listen. Reality, the movie part, we had no problem for him. It was the reality part. Like, nah, man, you gotta sit down. He's like, for real? I was like, yeah, man, this is reality TV, man. So everything else
And
is
to that
really smooth, but it was the reality TV part of the confessional parts. I was like, it's confessionals, man. He's like, okay, I got it. Like you said, after a while, he caught it. Once he caught it, he caught it. It was fun, man.
Well,
I don't want it to get off without saying thank you to Big Willow McKinney as well because Denzel wouldn't have
Right.
been in the film without
Yes.
Willow.
Yes.
And Willow also helped us with the distribution. Shout out to 1919 Distribution. And we have that is the company that's distributing the film. And
Hold on,
so
don't
it's a
forget
lot of
Maddie's Kitchen. Maddie's Kitchen. The food,
Maddie's
the
Kitchen. He
line was
did craft
crazy.
services.
Hey,
Shot and did
Maddie
shot
is his
dirty.
wife, y'all.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah, it was
a
good.
family
It was fun.
business.
Yo, my son was on one of Denzel's kids.
he was.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
He was.
I didn't
So
know that.
sweet.
Yes, my son was
I
Denzel's
love
kid.
It's the
Wow.
family affair for me. I love it.
Amir.
Amir Buddington was actually Denzel's kid, man. It was hilarious. It was fun.
So
Well,
Hey,
sweet.
Jewel, before we get off, Jewel, did we give out the prize yet? Did we give out the $100 dinner
Ooh.
card? We got to
Okay.
give
Okay.
that out.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, sir. Okay, so Denzel,
We're only
I
giving
want
out
you
one tonight.
just one tonight. Okay, so we're giving away $100 gift card. The whole idea is for, hey buddy, how you doing?
Good.
You did great in the movie. I was
Yeah.
impressed. You were super, okay? Okay, we're gonna give away $100, and the whole goal is Valentine's Day is coming up. We want you to be able to take your sweetheart out on Valentine's Day, and so, but you got to answer a question from the movie. You put it in the comments, and we'll reach out to you. Cassandra said, "Oh, she wanted." Okay, Denzel, you want to ask a question? So the question basically is that means that they would have had to watch the movie to be able to answer it.
okay. Okay. You ready for
Can
the
you give
question?
a question? Ask a question. The
So
audience is going to have to answer it if they watch the movie.
what was Jonathan's career in the movie?
Ooh,
Mm.
That's a good one. I don't even know that one.
Yo, he came a little difficult, but I know what it is.
Okay, but you can't tell. You can't win the car.
Oh, I love it. All right. So somebody answer that. What was Jonathan's profession in Marriage Mansion on Tubi? If you
Somebody
watched
got it turned on. They scrolling through the timeline
No,
now.
that's not fair. That's not
he
fair.
was somebody say he was ex-baseball player.
Close,
Close
but that's
though.
not it. That's
That's
close.
pretty close.
It's
That's
pretty close, but that's not it.
Okay, you
Don't
close.
put nothing in there yet.
Hey, Jill, we're not gonna wait until they watch the movie, then come and get the answer. So you got to get the answer right now.
Listen, period. Okay, somebody said
Should
I'm
we go
bad
to
with
the
names.
lightning round?
Oh, ex-basketball player. Somebody said ex-basketball player.
Dana answered first. Dana answered first. We saw that.
Oh, Dana.
What's her
Okay.
answer? What is her answer?
Yeah,
What is her
Dana
answer?
answered. I don't know if she's right. Yeah, Dana
Somebody said
answered first.
ex-basketball. Okay, so what's the answer?
Okay, so because no one answered this one, we might have to throw him another one. But he started.
No,
he used to get
he
ex.
said.
No, Dana
said
answered, Royal.
What's the
answer it.
answer? What is their answer?
She said ex football player.
Uh-oh.
Was it a football player?
It was.
It was.
What was his career? What was his career? He had switched careers.
So he was a at first he was supposed, because Denzel came and he looked, so he was supposed to be
a sports
a
agent.
manager. He's put a sports manager.
Sports
So
agent.
he went from a sports manager to ex-football player.
Well, that's close enough. That's close enough. She had the details.
Dana nailed that one.
Dana won. Okay, Dana, congratulations.
All right. Get that money.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, that was.
Like you really had to watch the movie because
you
had to watch the movie.
Lady Peace,
Hey,
I love you, but I
about-
need you to watch the movie because you answering everything that he did. He a promoter, he an ex-boxer, he an ex-ball player. Miss Lady Peace, I need you to watch it this weekend and you can get it the next prize.
How many people, let me ask a question. How many people want to see Marriage Mansion Detroit?
Whoop!
Uh-oh.
Marriage Mansion Detroit.
313.
We need to, come on, give us some comments. How many want to see Marriage Mansion Detroit at the mansion, at film at Apostles Dr. Beverly's mansion?
Uh-oh. Don't.
All right. 313. People are saying yes, yes, yes.
Put Detroit on the map.
They about to put Detroit on the map. I don't know if they're ready.
Hey, Detroit is already on the map. For 2 week movies, Detroit is skyrocket. Is the #1.
I see, right?
Wow.
Independent movies.
That's
wow.
a fact.
People are saying yes.
Listen, because as we knock it out the park, Tubi is only our first distribution. And as Royal said, we definitely want to give it up to Willow, want to give it up, amen, to 19, Dennis. We want to give it up to all those who playing a big part to getting it out. Royal did an excellent job, him and Mark, putting everything together. And that was just one part of this movie being successful. The actors and everyone, the actresses, that was just, one part, another part. But as many parts as moving parts to make it a successful movie, and that is us supporting it. And you know what happens with the, I tell you, and I don't want nobody to be offended about what I may just say, but a lot of times when movies go out, they come to the Black community, and I'm talking about our Caucasian brothers and sisters. And for instance, when The Passion of Christ came out, I never forget that. They came to the Black ministries and asked us to get people to go watch the movie, and we did, and it was just a blowout. They made a Passion of Christ. And what we need to do as a race of people is to get behind something that is good and something that is coming up. based on, even with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry started, we know, in the ministries with plays. But getting
Right.
behind something will really take it where it needs to go. So we really want to encourage people again, listen, let's get together, tell other people about it, and ask a friend. If everybody would just do 3 people, I guess it's about maybe 200 people on this total. Yeah, it's over 200 people that's on now, that's listening. And if 3 people would just tell somebody, then you know what, we got, what, 600 people watching on a daily basis. So let's get behind it. Go to Tubi. After we make it on Tubi, we got other distributions that we're going to be using, and but we need to show how strong we are with this with this movie. That's what, 900 people, right? I said 3 people, yeah, and we got 2.
Yep,
Can
that's
y'all hear
right.
me? Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that's really good. And I do. I think to your point, anytime that change happened, it was because we all banded together. Martin Luther King was able to make the impact he did because he had leaders that went out and really pushed the agenda of civil rights. And so I think, the best way for us to be successful now as a community is to have, Black owned, right? Not just media, but it's actually owned by people of color. And so that's a really big deal. So we want to make sure that we rally behind it. And just like you said, Passion of Christ or any other movie that we see that really had huge success. It's why what's your boy who started doing Black films before Tyler, he had huge success because Black people were going out and watching his movie. What was it? She Gotta Have It. What's his name?
Spike Lee.
Spike.
Yes, yeah, Spike, right? And so because everybody wanted to go see a Spike film. And so we want to make sure that we really, really get behind it. 2025, I think, is a pivotal year for people of color. We can have tons of success, but we got to work together as a community. So we're asking for you to share this feed tonight, text a family member, call them, set up, a little popcorn date or whatever with your honey, like I did, me and my baby. We sat down and watched it. We was like, oh, that's good. What's she about to say? We was all in it. We was all in it. And so make sure you watch. We want to make it successful. So thanks everybody for jumping on here tonight. This was really good. Again, share this feed with somebody, text somebody, tell them to watch Marriage Mansion on Tubi. Apostle Royal, Mark, Denzel, thanks so much for coming on.
Jill, before we sign off, Jill, we got about 2 minutes before we sign off. I do want to acknowledge Apostle Langston, Clarence Langston. He was supposed to be on tonight. His father-in-law had an emergency. He had to tend to that emergency. But Apostle Langston, he was the pastor who married them at the end. So he wanted to be on here.
Spoiler alert.
An emergency. And I do want to thank Great Faith. I see you showing up. I see you in the numbers, Great Faith. God bless you, Great Faith. You have been so well a supporter in this movie. And I want to thank you all, to all Great Faith leaders and everybody that's on right now. I'm looking at some of the numbers here, and Great Faith, God bless you. And okay, Jill.
All right, sir. Yeah, no, this is great. This is really good. Thank you for everyone for your support. Thank you, and Dr. Beverly, for just taking the risk and taking the step. It took faith. It wasn't easy. Royal, thank you for moving from California and put your sauce on all of it, because I definitely see the evolution. I see the growth, and it's pretty exciting to see it all happen. And so anyway, thanks everybody for jumping on. Everybody have a great night. And don't forget,
Thanks for
watch
having us,
Marriage
Jewel.
on TV. All right.